The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
The Attitude Era is widely considered by many as the greatest product the WWE has ever had. Now, relive the entire journey with exclusive commentary, insights, and episodic discussion with head writer Vince Russo.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the very first edition, installment, whatever you want to call it, of Raw. What was it good for? Where myself and Jeff Lane are going to take a look at past Attitude Era Raws. And I, so to speak, am going to give a little director's commentary based on what was happening and why. And Jeff is going to lead us through that. How are you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing good, Vince. I'm excited for this. To me, this is my favorite time as a wrestling fan, and looking back at this with fond memories, I'm really pumped for this show.
Let's hop into this. I did it, man. Bro, I came home from the concert, Jeff, and watched the show. I watched the show till 2:45 in the morning. So it's fresh on my mind. Let's fire away.
Now, this show, again, it's December 15th, 1997. We are building for, and check this out, Vince. I dug into my old cassettes to break this out. We are building to this show, the 1998 Royal Rumble. This is the VHS that I had in my collection. But the show starts off, and I thought this was interesting because the building, I don't know if you saw the size of the arena. My buddy Big Guy looked it up for me. The capacity of this arena was 6,500. There wasn't even a second level, so a really small arena. So compared to like where was this the norm back then? Because honestly, I don't remember. Maybe you do. Were we not at the point yet where we were going for 10,000 seat arenas, or was it just kind of so-so?
Bro, absolutely not. Because, Jeff, before you got to these 6,000 seat arenas, bro, I can remember we played at some, literally, bro, it was called a field house. And it was like a big barn, bro. And it was probably a third of a size of this 6,000 seat arena. Bro, that's where the WWE was in 93, 94, 95. When I was a writer for the magazine, I was going to these shows to cover them for the magazine. And bro, we played a field house. So when you're watching this show, that 6,000 people is huge compared to field houses. Bro, college campuses were of the norm. That's where we came from prior to then going to the big arenas.
But we start off with the pyro and the ballyhoo in the Raw theme song. If you watch that, a lot of people mention this, but the amount of signs that there were back then in the arena compared to now was ridiculous. It seemed like every fan had a sign. And I think that also signifies the changing of the fan base and the type of person that's watching wrestling now. Because, man, I remember back then we used to have Raw parties, Nitro parties. All the friends would get together at college. It was like the cool thing to do. And I don't know if a lot of that happens anymore. So those were the type of people going to shows, drunk college kids. They wanted their signs to get on TV. So like a completely different atmosphere. We start off with JR, Kevin Kelly, Michael Cole as your commentators. And we have an opening in ring with Michael Cole and The Undertaker. They put over that at the upcoming Royal Rumble, Undertaker is wrestling against Shawn Michaels for the championship. Shawn Michaels is the champ at this time, wrestling in a casket match for the WWF championship. So Undertaker cuts a promo on Shawn Michaels, and then Kane and Paul Bearer interrupt. Undertaker and Kane get face to face, and Paul Bearer talks about how this is a family reunion except all that's missing are the parents that the Undertaker murdered. So we're getting into the backstory of Kane. At this point, this is where Undertaker doesn't want to. It's his brother. He doesn't want to fight him. Paul Bearer gives Undertaker one more chance to face Kane. Kane slaps the Undertaker, goes for a second one. The Undertaker blocks it, but then he walks away.
Jeff, I told you before the show opened. Bro, right off the bat, listen. This is what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I get all the heat from these days from the Nimrods, bro. Jeff, Undertaker's music and entrance. Here comes this guy walking down. Bro, whether I'm a wrestling fan, whether I'm not a wrestling fan, whoever I am, if I got the remote control in my hand and with the music and the lighting and the ambiance and the way he carries himself, I'm stopping dead in my tracks. Who is this guy? I know immediately, Jeff, this is a star. I'm not like this guy. He's different. He's special. Who is this guy? Now, bro, please fast forward to 2015. Kevin Owens comes out for the first time. Sami Zayn comes out for the first time. Neville comes out for the first time. Are you kidding me, bro? I mean, Jeff, that's Major League Baseball. And not even single A. Not even single A, bro. That's college ball. It's college ball compared to the highest level of professional baseball. That when you look at what you're seeing today and you go back, how can you not understand what I'm saying? Have a split screen for crying out loud and put the Undertaker next to Kevin Owens. Are you freaking kidding me? Kevin Owens looks like he should be landscaping somebody's lawn, period. So then, bro, who do we follow that with? Then we follow that with the Big Red Machine. Bro, these are stars. These are larger than life people. And Jeff, here's the thing. We immediately know who they are. We know who they are. Bro, listen to freaking JR. From the time Kane hits the stage till the time he gets in the ring, you know who this guy is. So again, Jeff, look at it this way. If this is the first time I'm ever watching this show, I know who these guys are. I am mesmerized. What is on better on another channel? Teen Mom ain't better than this. Okay? So Jeff, then what happens? One of the greatest storytellers in the history of the wrestling business. God rest his soul. Paul Bearer now comes out and lays out this beautiful story for you. Now, bro, let's fast forward to 2015. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman opening the show. We know the promo is going to be, my client is going to kill Seth Rollins. That's the promo. That's what, there's nothing more to it. Paul Bearer, bro, laying this freaking story out. Bro, literally the first segment was, 11 minutes, right? I know these two guys. I know the story. 3 characters, 3 stars. JR makes it clear Taker won't fight Kane. Now, bro, here's the beauty of the segment. This segment goes down. And what's the last thing JR says when this segment is over? JR says, right before we go to commercial break, this may not be over tonight. Stay tuned. So like right off the bat, bro, he's continuing a story, and they never pick up the story, but you don't know that. So right off the bat, the artistry of JR, we may just be getting started tonight, folks. Stay tuned. JR immediately in one line, that is the hook. And now we have a reason to stay tuned for this show. Are we going to see more of this Undertaker Kane? And bro, none of that. Jeff, do you just hear everything I said? None of that had anything to do with the writing. None of it. I did not put Vince Russo over as a writer. I did not say I wrote this phenomenal dialogue for Kane and Taker and Paul. No, that had nothing to do with the writing, bro. That had everything to do with presentation and everybody doing their jobs to the best of their capability. Had nothing to do with Vince Russo sitting in the back watching this, bro.
So let me ask you, because you did mention JR putting this stuff over. When you're in your production meetings for these episodes, was it like JR just did his thing, or would you lay out for the announcers, get this over at this point?
Not at all, bro. No, bro. Yeah, I definitely had to do that later on in my career. Not with JR, bro. With JR, bro, it was such a second sense to him. And the hook, bro. We'll go through that throughout the show, but no, bro, you don't tell a JR to do. You don't have to tell a JR to do that.
Let me ask you this, because I'm always curious about like the chicken and the egg type deal. When Kane, the character, was developed, was it like, I want Undertaker to have a brother to have Kane, so we need to find somebody to be Kane, then you find Glenn Jacobs, or was it we need something for Glenn Jacobs to do, and then you create the character of Kane? Like, do you remember how that worked in this situation?
That's a great question, Jeff. And I want everybody to take note here, because here's the thing I love. Somebody said this again, one of the Twitter guys that got blocked in 2 seconds. They made the comment again that I'm always ready to take everybody's credit. I'm always ready to take credit for everything. I'm never able to admit, a failure. Okay, bro. Undertaker, Kane, the brother, the early stages of this was Bruce Pritchard, bro. Bruce Pritchard was very, very close with Taker. They were good friends. Bruce Pritchard had the idea of Kane. That's a great question, Jeff, about the chicken or the egg that I don't know the answer to. I've never come across a better storyteller in wrestling than Bruce Pritchard. None of the boys. I don't think anybody comes close, bro. Bruce Pritchard can tell a wrestling story like nobody I've ever met.
And then we had Jerry Lawler versus Taka. Taka hits his finisher, which was a Michinoku driver, and then Brian Christopher runs in and breaks it up at the 6-minute mark.
All right, bro, there's so much to break down in this thing. I could tell you how Vince Russo's booking this. I'm not too sure about the Lawler-Taka Michinoku match, and I'm concerned people are going to change the channel. Okay, so because of that, okay, in the back of my mind, Taka's not really over. Lawler's over and Lawler's Lawler, but Lawler-Taka, I'm really concerned about this. Okay, so if you notice, go back and listen. And what's JR doing throughout this entire match? He's plugging Stone Cold on the show. He's plugging DX is on the show. He teases Austin again. Vince McMahon is going to confront Owen Hart. So because we're afraid of losing audience, we're not sure about this match. JR is hitting everything else we know the audience is going to care about. But again, bro, here's the beauty of this, okay? A couple of things, Jeff. The match time is 5 minutes and 42 seconds. Okay, we're not trying to keep them 10 minutes with Jerry Lawler and Taka Michinoku. It's 5 minutes and 42 seconds. That's the match time. Bro, go back and look at this match, okay? Now, Taka was in this match. Taka would be considered an X Division wrestler today. There was one high spot in the match. One. And it meant everything because there was only one. You look at a match today, bro. All right, let me go on with this. Okay, bro. So then, bro, here's the thing. Right before we go to commercial break, we need a hook. What's going to keep the people there? Well, the hook this time is an interview with LOD against DX. Now, bro, listen. I've said this a million times. When you work with this talent and you get to know the talent, bro, you know who you have to write for, and you know who you leave alone. You know who, like, I go up to LOD, and you know what my instructions for the promo are? You got this? Okay, good. That's it, bro. So you go back, you watch the LOD promo, bro. It's clear, Hawk is not scripted. Hawk is being Hawk like only Hawk could be. I can't imagine me sitting there trying to tell the Legion of Doom what to say. Fast forward to 2015. This would have been your basic, generic, babyface promo setting up a match for tonight. This wasn't a babyface promo. This was Animal being Animal and Hawk being Hawk, and they were allowed to do what they do. And we go to commercial break now. Okay, now this is something else in the show that we want to see.
We go next to the Nation of Domination. So The Rock grabs the mic to start. He says he's the Intercontinental Champ, even though Austin has the belt. Farouk tries to get a word in, but The Rock doesn't let him. So The Rock orders Steve Austin to give him the belt. Stone Cold comes out, and he says that he forfeited the title. He was in a good mood and felt sorry for The Rock. He tells him to grab a monitor because he's going to show him where the belt's at, and that The Rock's in way over his head. Austin leaves, and The Rock says that he has an hour to return with the belt, or they'll search the building until they find him.
If you notice, right off the bat, we come back from commercial. Nation of Domination is coming out immediately. They're coming out. We're back. They're coming out through the curtain. Bro, I'm going to back up again. When they come out, look at the way these four guys look. They look like stars. I swear to God, bro, this is why I have a problem. I wish I could get Vince McMahon in a room. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that, because Vince McMahon was the one that taught me, if you want to be a star, you have to look like a star. Bro, fast forward to 2015 again. I'm not going to bury the same guys, okay? These guys come out, they look like somebody. Okay, now, bro, you want to break down the storytelling, and you just did it right there, bro. Rock shutting down Farouk is telling a story. That little thing, Rock is telling a story and going out doing that week after week after week, setting up an eruption when the time comes. That little thing, bro, is a part of storytelling. Austin comes out, tells Rock to keep his eye on the monitor. That's the hook. And Rock even basically says, Rock's exact words, I think, were, you have 59:39 to give the belt back. He's telling you right there, there's an hour left in the show. Don't go anywhere, because in that hour, there's going to be a confrontation between me and Stone Cold. That's what he's saying. He gave the time, bro. 59:30 time. Here is what I like to call, Jeff, the little nuances. The little nuances, how you need to watch this show, and you need to fast forward to 2015. Bro, watch The Rock's promo. Now, here's how I look at this segment differently probably than the viewer. When you're watching this segment, Jeff, all eyes are on The Rock. Go back and watch the segment and look at D'Lo and Farouk in the background and the way that they're selling. Okay? Farouk is selling it like he knows slowly but surely Rock is taking the main stage. He's not overselling it, but if you look at Farouk, he's telling the story. Then you got the confident D'Lo behind Rock, like, yeah, Austin, yeah, you got an hour. I mean, their characters are telling the story. Now, again, bro, I don't mean to pick on anybody. I want to fast forward to 2015 again, and I've said this on numerous occasions. You have Dean Ambrose in the ring, just sporadically sticking out his tongue and making crazy faces. Okay, trying to force and get his character over. It's not organic and it doesn't feel real. Now, here's the thing, bro. That's not Ambrose's fault. Ambrose is young. Ambrose is still green, bro. And if people want to argue with me that Ambrose isn't green, go back and watch this episode of Raw again and look who I'm comparing him with. Okay? Bro, Rock wasn't in that spot for a long time at this point. Put Rock next to Dean Ambrose and tell me Dean Ambrose isn't still green. He's a great worker. He's still green in not knowing, how to sell without talking, how to tell a story without talking. He doesn't know how to do that, bro, because he's not being taught. There's nobody there teaching him that. So even when these guys are not speaking, they're developing their characters. They're professionals. They know what they're doing. That's on them. That's not, I'm not pulling their strings like they're puppets. That's D'Lo getting D'Lo over. That's Farouk getting Farouk over. There's an art to that, bro. 95% of the guys in the business today don't even understand that. They would look at the same scene I'm looking at and would not see any of what I'm telling you. And then I could interview Farouk. And, bro, he would give me a 10-minute dialogue of, this is why I did this, and this is why I did. He would tell you, this is what I was doing to get myself over, to get the story over. That doesn't exist today, bro. And that's not on the talent. That's on management. That's on producers. That's on people putting the show together. But anyway, it ends, bro, 59-39. Don't go anywhere. There's going to be a confrontation. Bro, but that's not enough. Because what's up next? Dude Love. So either so bro, let's set the stage now. We're probably 3 segments in. We're probably 30 minutes into this show. Okay? JR has already told me the Kane and Taker story may not be over yet. LOD already told us what they're going to do to DX. Rock already told us, like, within the next hour, there's going to be a confrontation between me and Steve Austin. And now Dude Love is coming up. So now there are 4 reasons why you have to come back and see what happens in the next segment. Let's compare that to 2015, where we are 8 minutes into a 16-minute match and we go to commercial break. Do you see what I'm saying, Jeff? And then people the Nimrods have the nerve and the gall to say, I'm irrelevant. This has nothing to do with me being relevant or irrelevant. This is basic television writing 101. It's basic writing 101. You can't repeat this formula today because the landscape's different and television's bro, give me a break. They can't replicate the format. You know why, Jeff? Ask me why.
Why?
Because they're not good enough to. They're not good enough to. They got the wrong people in the wrong roles. They're not capable of doing what I'm telling you they need to do. They're not capable of it. Then, bro, wait, we're not even done yet. Then we go to commercial with freaking Dude Love. Bro, what about that Ken Shamrock package?
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, again, Vince Russo had nothing to do with this package. Vince Russo did not write this package. This is Kevin Dunn and his crew. Bro, in 30 freaking seconds, I know everything that I need to know about Ken Shamrock, and I can't wait to see him. I knew everything there was to know about this guy. Okay, bro, couple things. You couldn't do a 37 piece for Kevin Owens. You couldn't do a 30-second piece for Sami Zayn. You couldn't do a 30-second piece for Neville. These guys are just supposed to come out and be over when one of them is dressed like the guy that cuts my lawn. They're just supposed to come out and magically be over. That's somebody not doing their job, bro. Do you see what I'm saying? Bro, they have people in spots they're not doing their job. That's why nobody's watching this show. That's why nobody's watching wrestling, bro. This is why. What happened during the Attitude Era can clearly be duplicated in 2015 if the idiots working there had a clue to what the frig they were doing, bro. Don't tell me it's a different time. That's got nothing to do with anything, bro. Nothing. It's a different time, so we're not going to tell you who Kevin Owens is. We're going to have the guy come out overweight and with a cutoff T-shirt because it's a different time, bro. It's a different time. Give me a break, bro.
So we got Dude Love versus Road Dogg, and we got Billy Gunn on the commentary. Right now, these two are the tag champs. Michael Cole puts over that Austin has left the building. So we're getting a story update there. And during the match, JR names them the New Age Outlaws. So I think this is the first time that's mentioned. This is where they get their name. Dude Love starts pulling his hair out and acting like Mankind. Dude Love wins in 5 minutes. There's a huge fight after the match, and the Outlaws end up bumping Foley off the stage. And, man, that was a nasty bump. Like, he slid right off that table, like, right onto the floor. Like, I know this was like par for the course at the time, but going back and watching this stuff, it's hard not to cringe at what he put his body through.
First of all, Dude Love's in the ring. Go back and watch this and listen to JR. Fast forward to 2015 and listen to that announce crew today. Dude Love is in the ring. And what is JR doing? He's still selling Austin Rock from the previous segment. He didn't forget about it, bro, because it ended and it's over with. He didn't forget about it. This is JR, bro. This is where you can't put a price tag on a man's talents. This is like, bro, you either get it or you don't get it. How many times, Jeff, do we watch a segment? It's over, done. Next segment, we forget everything that happened. We've got Dude Love in the ring. That's going to draw a rating. People are going to want to see this. JR still telling them about rocking Austin. You can't hook a crowd in 2015. You can't do these same simplistic things in 2015. Okay, bro. New Age Outlaws. I give a lot of that creative success, no doubt about it, to Brian James. Absolutely, 1,000%. He came up with the name. That was Brian's name. Bullet Bob was his dad. Character development. Brian James is talking all the way down the ramp. They gave him a microphone. He is developing his character on his freaking ring entrance. Putting Billy on color to get the character over. That's why Billy's on more character development. Freaking bro, watch this. JR is still selling. Now he's telling us Austin has left the building. Austin, but bro, he's telling us like he really cares. JR really cares that Austin's left the building. I don't know where he's going, folks. Austin, JR cares. I feel like the announcers really care. Therefore, I should care. So he's continuing to tell the story with Dude Love and Road Dogg in the ring. Bro, the match was 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Okay? Bro, absolutely great spot. They used the ref for to dump Foley off the stage. Great freaking spot. But, bro, I want to point out again, you had Mick Foley in this match with Road Dogg. Bro, you know how many big bumps Mick Foley took? That's
one thing that I wanted to bring up, too. That's a great point because you take away the nasty bump off the stage. Obviously, that wasn't even in the match. But the entire match is not about the moves. It's about Mick Foley getting his character over. Like, that's a great point, Vince. And that's that's what I wish, like, wrestlers up and coming would pay attention to during the matches, is how awesome all these guys were at getting their character and their story over during the match. That's what the match was about. You know what I mean?
Bro, do you think somebody, Vince Russo, anybody, Vince McMahon, you think anybody had to tell Mick, okay, Mick, 2 minutes into this match, you're going to sit there and start pulling your hair out? You think anybody had to tell him that? Again, bro, the training. These guys understood the business fully and the art of getting themselves over. Mick Foley took one big bump in this match. That was it, bro. The match lasted 4 minutes and 38 seconds. And what's the hook, bro? Oh my God, Mick Foley is hurt. We Dude Love, whatever you want to call him, will be back to check his condition right after this. But listen to the sense of urgency in the voice of JR. He cares, bro. He cares about the action he's seeing. He's making us at home care. He's making us feel like that's important. And then you're going to sit there and give me every excuse in the world why wrestling has lost 70% of its audience over the last 15 years. Come on, bro. There was a reason this stuff was working, man. You had the right people doing the right things.
With Crash TV style, so to speak, one thing I loved about it was it allowed more people to be on the show because, you know, the shorter you had each match or the shorter you had each promo, that left room for other things to happen, got more characters involved on the show. And I think that's one thing that even wrestlers today don't realize, fans don't realize, is it creates more job opportunities and it makes more money for everybody. And I think that's a positive for everybody in the industry. Then we go to Mark Henry against a Brooklyn Brawler in a 2-minute match. Henry wins with a bear hug.
Let me comment on this. Okay.
I do want to say at this point in the show, we've had 3 matches for a total of 13 minutes roughly. So
okay, bro, here's the beauty of this. Mark Henry comes out. JR's telling us the story. He's a world's strongest man. Okay, bro. They follow that story up with a package. While JR selling this, we see why Mark Henry is the world's strongest man. They show his weightlifting prowess. We back it up with a visual of, oh, okay, JR's not just saying he's the world's strongest man. Oh, that's why look how much weight that human being is lifting. Bro, how many times do we hear Michael Cole scream at the top of his lungs about lunatic fringe? Okay, Michael, why is he lunatic fringe? Because you say so? I'm not seeing this guy doing anything a lunatic would do. But if you tell me 15 times, okay, now I'm going to take your word for it. Dean Ambrose is a lunatic because Michael Cole said so. JR said this is the world's most strongest man, and it was backed up with video. We saw it was a shoot. Therefore, this is the world's most strongest man. Little things like that are so freaking important, bro. Take Dean Ambrose out of the building. Show me why this guy is a lunatic. Don't just say it over and over. You didn't have to tell me Brian Pillman was a lunatic. I knew Brian Pillman was a lunatic. You're making me think Ambrose is a lunatic because if we say it enough, the people at home are going to believe it. No, the people at home have brains. We're not going to believe it just because you tell us, which is why we're getting Mark Henry over here by showing footage of him being the world's strongest man. That is so vile and so important. And JR goes through the entire match putting over Mark Henry while he continues to tell us Stone Cold has left the building. We have no idea where he's gone. So we've been keeping up this Stone Cold a Rock story as a thread since the minute Rock said you got 59 minutes and 59 minutes and 39 seconds. Since The Rock said that, JR has been following up on that every single segment, not letting the people at home forget. That is an art, bro. That is a professional announcer.
So we start the second hour, and there was always a different commentary team as well. So we have JR and Jim Cornette for your second hour, and we start this with Vince McMahon in the ring.
Bro, you're going over a whole significant element here, bro.
What'd I skip?
Whole significant element. Okay, Jeff. We're still seeing the follow. JR's still following up on Dude Love, if you notice, at the top of this segment. And that already happened, bro, like 2 segments ago. JR's still talking about it, okay, bro? They play. This goes to show you why you can't freaking sit there and write every word for every talent. Okay? Shawn Michaels cuts a promo, and in this promo, he refers to Owen Hart as the little nugget that whirls around the toilet bowl and he can't flush. Okay? Bro, this was not written for Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels came up with this on his own. Now, the way Shawn told this story, I don't think he came up with it on the spot. I think in the back, he came up with the whole nugget thing, and he was going to talk about swirling and swirling around. Okay, so, bro, the fact that, okay, Shawn, here's your verbiage. This is what you have to go out and say. The fact that they weren't restricted that way gave Shawn the freedom to come up with the nugget. Bro, how much legs did we get on that? This promo and him referring to Owen as a nugget, Shawn coming up with that, Shawn being sure, how much did we get out of that, which he created? That turned into Owen's whole entire gimmick, his entire game. Now, there was nothing like that going through my mind. I would have never written that line. Shawn had to come up with that line. That line helped define who another character was. That wouldn't even be allowed today, bro. He would have had a scripted thing. He would have went out there. He would have read it. He would have never said it. It would have never stuck. Owen would have never taken advantage of it. Yada, yada, yada. Something that simple, bro. Vince comes out.
Yeah, and he orders Owen Hart to the ring, and Owen comes through the crowd and tells Vince he doesn't owe him a GD thing, and the BS stops here. And then he says that Bret, Neidhart, the Bulldog did what they had to do, and Owen's going to do what he has to do, and that's remain in the WWF. Nobody's going to run him out of the company. Vince says he's talking about Shawn Michaels and the title, and Owen says he doesn't care about the title. This is real life, and he's going to make Shawn Michaels' life a living hell. Vince calls uniform security to the ring, but says next week that Owen's going to come, into the ring down the ramp like every superstar and compete next week. He's not going to be coming through the fans. And then Owen grabs Vince, but then lets him go, and security escorts Owen out. Lots of things I took away from this is, A, it's obviously playing off the Bret Hart story. B, it's giving Owen his own story. And C, it's also leaving us a hook for next week, because now we know that Vince is making Owen wrestle next week. So there was a lot of meat to this promo besides just Vince McMahon and Owen Hart yelling at each other.
I remember a lot about this segment when I watched it back, bro. A lot came back to me with this segment. This was really the first time that Owen Hart came out of the shadow of Bret, because Bret was no longer there. Owen was so nervous, bro, cutting this promo before. He was so freaking nervous because he knew he was always in Bret's shadow. Bret isn't there anymore. There was a lot going on with Owen at the time. Bret had real heat with Owen for Owen staying at the WWE. That's a fact. I'm not even going to get into that, so you can read my book. It's all in the book. So there was a lot of real emotion there. He was really nervous. He became even more nervous because when I got together with him to produce this, I told Owen, you need to cuss. I said, Owen, under the circumstances, you need to totally come out of the Owen character that we knew, and you need to swear. And Owen was having a hard time with that. And I was like, Owen, this can't be a wrestling promo. This is a totally different you. These circumstances are real. We need you. We need to be convinced. So I had to talk Owen into cursing. And bro, he drops a couple curses, during this interview. And again, bro, we're into the second hour now. Okay. This was the best promo in Owen's career. And I remember this too, bro. I got huge heat from Vince because of the language. After the, I didn't say, no, I didn't put the heat on Owen. I said, no, Vince, I told him to do that. I knew Vince wasn't happy with it, but I also knew we had to show Owen in a completely different light in that instance. when Owen grabs Vince, listen to Cornette's storytelling here. The way Jim Cornette is laying out this story like it mattered, and holy crap, Owen just grabbed Vince, yada, yada, yada. I guarantee you, if that was today, we would have already been into the next segment. We would have known this was going to happen. We would have known Owen was gonna grab Vince, and we would have sold it like we knew it. Cornette, listen to Cornette, old school, tell the story. It's important to the people watching at home.
The Sultan with the Iron Sheik versus Tom Brandi. Brandi wins with a schoolboy in about 3.5 minutes or so. Mark Merrow comes out afterwards, gets irritated because the crowd starts to chant for Sable. This was like, I never got into this Sultan thing. What was your opinion on that gimmick? Obviously, it didn't last long after this.
Bro, that was something I adopted, to be honest with you. I mean, that was not my gimmick. That was not my idea. Obviously, bro, I did not have a lot of confidence in the Tom Brandi Sultan match, which is why, bro, you do the Merrow Sable story beforehand. So you're basically telling the people, okay, watch Tom Brandi here, because Merrow and Sable are going to somehow get involved in this match. That's what you're telling them, bro. That's part of the hook. Again, you're not just going to bring out Brandi and Sultan to have a cold match. You're going to set the table. This is how Sal Sincere was involved last week. So now he's wrestling. So we're probably going to see the bigger stars in Mark Merrow and Sable. That's why it was set up that way. But again, bro, because we didn't have confidence in the match and were afraid people were going to change the channel, JR is continually selling Austin. This is where he tells us, bro, now during this match, Austin is on a bridge. We're trying to get a signal to the arena. The reason why he says that here is because of who's in the ring, bro. We know Tom Brandi and Sultan is a channel changer, but we know we need that match to continue on the Merrow Sable story, to get Merrow and Sable over. So what's JR doing? Now Austin, all of a sudden, he's on a bridge. We're trying to get a camera there. We might get a camera there in 2 seconds. We might get a camera there in 2 minutes. We don't know. But now, with JR telling me that, even if I don't want to watch this match, which, as you said, is, oh, by the way, 3 minutes and 40 seconds, I'm not going anywhere. What the frig is Austin doing on a bridge? And again, go listen to JR again. He's getting Brandi over through the Merrow Sable story. So it was even important for us to get a guy like Tom Brandi over, or at least a try to. Then basically, bro, you wrap up the segment with, still to come DX and LOD. Let's not forget about that. And the last thing JR says is, what is Austin doing on a bridge? Boom, we go to commercial break.
So we come back from commercial. Here comes the Nation again to the ring. And then we see the full highlights of when Austin was stunning everybody, driving his truck into the arena, when he beat up the Nation on the truck, and then the deal where he stole the belt after giving it to The Rock, where he knocked Vince off the apron. So we go to live shots, and The Rock says that the time is up, and they're coming to get the belt. Austin appears on the big screen on a bridge, and he starts to throw scuba gear and a pager in off the bridge because The Rock is going to need it. And then he says he doesn't care about The Rock or the WWF, and throws the Intercontinental title belt into the river. And man, that was a great camera shot. Like, they got that. Like, you can how many takes you going to do with that? You know what I mean? The fact that the camera guy perfectly got that belt flying into the river was awesome. This is one of the iconic segments ever in the Attitude Era. A lot of people point to this as the segment that kicked it off. That's obviously arguable. There's so much good stuff, but there's no doubt that this is one of the segments people are never going to forget.
Bro, listen. What is the last instance on Raw that you remember taking place outside of the arena?
J&J driving the car around Chicago.
Okay, and then I remember, though, going back further, the one I remember specifically is, I don't remember where, New York maybe. I remember Ambrose getting on a subway train, which was probably 3 months prior, maybe.
That was a while back, yeah.
Yes. So they did that, and then maybe 3 to 6 months after they did the J&J driving around Chicago, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
I know where you're going with it. You probably got your sign in your hand. Yeah.
Here it is, Jeff. Okay, bro. Again, Jeff, this is where you'll hear the landscape has changed in television. Television is different now. We don't worry as much about the ratings now as we used to. You'll hear every excuse in the book, and I'm sitting here saying, you can't leave an arena. You can't come up with something creative outside of those four walls. No, you're lazy, bro. You're lazy. That's why that's why in the middle of the night you're not going to a bridge with Stone Cold Steve Austin when you are freezing your, pardon my French, nutsack off, because it is freezing outside. The show is over. You know, everybody wants to go home and go to freaking bed. And we're on a bridge with Austin shooting this. You know why? Because we were not lazy. Austin was not lazy. Austin wanted to get his character over. Now, you're going to tell me we can no longer do things like that because the television landscape has changed since then. Or in Triple H's words, Jeff, it's a different time. Yeah, Triple H. It's a different time. You're not allowed outside of the building. You're locked in the building, bro, and nobody can use their creative juices to leave the building because, Jeff, it's a different time. Give me a break, bro. Freaking priceless stuff. We all worked our rear ends off. Bro, wasn't there another wasn't there another time where Rock showed up at a bridge?
Yeah, it was. Oh man, we're about. That was in '99. Okay. So we're about a year and a half away from that. But it was where he pretended like he threw the Stone Cold Smoking Skull belt in, but then he was in the ring and he was wearing it. You know what I mean? Like
I knew there was another time because I knew Rock was at the bridge with Austin at some point. I couldn't remember.
You're throwing this stuff into the river. Somebody had to go get it, right?
I would think somebody retrieved the belt. I would have to think, bro. Either it was a dummy belt. Either they got a dummy belt made and they didn't care, or somebody retrieved the belt. I would have to think. I remember specifically though in the second one, I remember somebody getting in a boat and retrieving the belt. I remember that. I don't remember exactly what happened here.
So now we go to the Vince McMahon promo, and for those who missed the joke, this is what we parodied in Vince Russo's promo we did last week, where he was talking about this show. Pretty much ripped that word for word and changed it to fit our needs. But this is, we're not the only one. Everybody online that gets it is always saying, where's this Vince? Why has this changed? Because this exact promo could be said right now. Right now. Fits the business. And the key line to me in there is, as the times have changed, so have we. This promo, you can spin it however way you want, but the way I take this, and to me this is what it was, is this is how we are introducing, Vince Russo as a head writer and his creative direction with the show. That's basically what this promo does for the audience. So I know you watched it, obviously, because then you did your take on it. But tell me some stories about that promo.
I am so happy you smartened me up to this promo. You told me to look at it. You wrote the verbiage for my promo. I give you props for that. I'm so happy you smartened me. I completely forgot about it. So when I went back and I watched it, Jeff, you sent me the link. It's just unbelievable to me. Just unbelievable to me, to the point of I myself, Vince Russo, am emailing Vince McMahon that link. I'm emailing him the link, and Vince, you honestly need to take a look at this. I don't care if you're 70. I don't care if you're 80. I don't care if you're 90. Okay, you need to look at the exact words that came out of your mouth. And Vince wrote that, bro. Let me make that clear to you. I could tell by the writing of it. I don't know half those words. Jeff, you made me say one word in there that I couldn't even pronounce. What was it, bro? Extra Petonius. Bro, I did not write that. Vince McMahon wrote that promo verbatim. Vince McMahon wrote it, not Vince Russo. Vince, go back and watch what you freaking said and then tell me, oh, Hunter, it's a different time today. We can't do that. It's a different time. We can't do that. Unreal, bro. And I thank you for making me look at that again, because it is unbelievable to watch that today, bro. Unbelievable, because it's that simple. If Vince looked at that today and lived up to it just like he did 15 years ago, we would be okay.
What was the reason, I would guess, to say why, Vince McMahon wrote this and said we're putting this on the air?
Because I think Vince McMahon and myself, we knew the show sucked before. You need to go back to the screw job in Survivor Series in November. You need to go back to that, because everybody wanted to sweep that under the rug like it never happened. And that was at the time, bro, where we were coming off of TL Hopper and all that other crap. And these guys were ready to, and I sat there and I'm like, are you freaking nuts? Are you out of your freaking mind? Vince McMahon has a black eye because he was punched by Bret Hart, and you're not going to take advantage of that? Are you nuts? That's when I kind of talked Vince into the, Vince didn't screw Bret, Bret screwed Bret. Okay. And that promo right there, bro, you might have to back up the start of the Attitude Era to that, in my opinion. But that promo and that incident changed the game. And we knew that this was not going to be the same Raw that you were used to. And we wanted people to know that, bro, because we wanted them to give the show another try. We were trying to say, listen, if you didn't like Raw before, we get it. We understand this is a different time. It's going to be a totally different product. And that's why we did that. There was no, concern about it was going to become more risque, because we didn't even know that at the time, bro. We didn't know what the Attitude Era was. We didn't know where it was going, but we knew the show was going to be different based on that one very real situation that took place.
So we go next to Steve Blackman versus one of the Los Boricuas. Blackman dominates. And at this point, we've had 5 matches for a total of 18 minutes. I was keeping a running total. This stable of the Boricuas, probably about 6 months away from it disappearing. I think it was around WrestleMania. With the whole Savio Vega and stuff like that, kind of came to a close. But what I think we're kind of building Steve Blackman as a monster here. And is the Boricuas something you inherited, and we're just trying to figure out what to do with it at the time?
There's a couple key things in this very short segment. First of all, I hated the Boricua gimmick. I inherited the gimmick. If you remember, bro, when they first came out for a couple of months, they looked like freaking ice cream men. They were all dressed in white. That's why I hated it. I like, bro, are these guys gonna freaking sell me a toasted almond? Let me go get $1 so I could buy a fudgy bar. I hated it, bro. But here's the important thing, Jeff. This is the art of the writing now. This is what's missing today, bro. You know why? Because it's a different time. The match was only 1:35 long. Okay, bro? The whole point of the match is, first of all, we know nobody cares about the Boricuas of Steve Blackman. What we have on our side is Blackman looks the way he does, which is very impressive. He had those karate things down, and JR is putting him over during the match, okay? But, bro, you have to understand, you got to go back the segment before. Austin just threw the belt off the bridge. So you have to have time where you can really react to that and sell that. And that's why this match was only 1:35, bro. You know, we knew nobody cared. We wanted to, get Blackman out there, but JR was also going to take this time to talk about what he just saw. Because again, that's an unbelievable moment. Austin just threw the belt in the river, guys. Again, today, it would have been end of segment. Okay, we're going to this match now. It would have never been talked about. This segment was designed to react to what just took place. That's part of the structure, bro, of writing the show. You can't gloss over what Austin just did. Take the minute of 30 and 35 seconds of this match so you could talk about it.
Next was the DX promo backstage on Owen and the Legion of Doom. So they're continuing the story with Owen while also putting over the main event that's coming up. It just brings back memories of these guys, like just how ridiculously goofy they were. And
I don't know. What was there ever a better entrance? Through the music, through the video screen. Was there ever a better entrance? Bro, Shane McMahon had a lot to do with the presentation of DX. This was right in his wheelhouse. Bro, I remember first and foremost, I got the name D-Generation X because it was a pay-per-view. The creative services department came up with D-Generation X as a name for the pay-per-view. So like I saw that, I'm like, no, bro, they need to be D-Generation X. So I didn't come up with the name, but I put it on these guys. But bro, I remember as we were forming this, keep in mind, Shane was young, hip, cool at the time, around their age. I remember, bro, Shane bringing me into the garage in WWE, headquarters in Stanford, making me get in his car so he could play the music that he thought would be appropriate for DX. And it was what we saw. It was very similar to that. That's how into it Shane was. And I'll never forget that, bro. We're in the parking garage, and he's playing Vince. This has to be their music. So he had a lot to do with that, bro. We went to commercial break. I couldn't believe we went to commercial break during that match. I think as we look at other episodes, you're not going to see it often. Bro, this is the main event, okay, Jeff? 8 minutes and 39 seconds. 8 minutes and 39 seconds, the longest match of the night. And of course, bro, what I wrote here more than anything, I mean, and they still do this today. I'm not going to take it away from them. But, Billy shaving Hawk's head, doing all that, some really, really, really big time heat on DX. And I mean, my God, bro, when this show is over and you kind of just think about what you just saw, just all the stuff on this show that mattered, bro, that all the reasons why I need to watch next week's show. And like the first thing that comes to mind is they didn't follow up on Taker and Kane. They're going to follow up next week. I mean, just go down the list, bro. Look at why we have to watch next week's show. Austin threw Rock's belt in the river. DX shaved Hawk's head. Mick Foley was hurt. Look at the reasons why episodic television, bro. This is why we have to watch.
The chloroform. Like, you don't see stuff like
bro,
that.
This is what I forgot to point out. I wrote it in my notes. I'm so happy you brought this up, bro. As soon as I saw this was Jim Cornette through and through. And, bro, he did this. Like, this is 1997, bro.
Yeah.
He did this about 15 years later in TNA, and I almost blew a freaking gasket, okay? Here's Jim Cornette's whole gimmick, bro. They're shaving Hawk's head. And for some reason or another, bro, I still never understood this, Jeff, so explain this to me. In Cornette's mind, Hawk needs to foam at the mouth. Jeff, I've never seen a grown man foam at the mouth. Bro, I know dogs foam at the mouth, but I've never seen a dog foam at the mouth either. But I've never seen a grown man foam at the mouth. I've never heard about a grown man foaming at the mouth. I don't know why a grown man would foam at the mouth. You know how guys, blade themselves? Well, bro, for a guy to foam at the mouth, they got to slip an Alka-Seltzer in their mouth, chew on the Alka-Seltzer so they could foam at the mouth. Bro, 15 years later, Cornette did this at TNA with freaking Hernandez. I didn't know anything about it, and I'm watching this match, and all of a sudden, this foam is pouring out of Hernandez's mouth, and I'm like, bro, this is 2012, and I'm like, you have to be kidding me. If anybody out there has ever seen another grown man foam at the mouth, please let me know. And let me know what the circumstances were, because I'm really interested, bro. But when I saw that, I was like, yep, Cornette had to get his 2 cents in, bro. And there's good old Hawk foaming at the mouth, bro. My job as a writer, Jeff, is I had to give them content. I had to give them meat. I had to supply them with a story every single week. That was my job. I had to keep feeding this machine. But the talent has to go out there and do it, bro. They have to go out there and perform it. And it doesn't matter if Shakespeare was writing the show. If the talent aren't professionals and they don't know how to get it over, it's not going to get over. So, like I said, yes, I gave them the content every week. I supplied them with material and stories every week. But those guys went out and did it. Bro, the star of this show, you're always asking me who the star of this show is. The star of this show is JR. You go back and watch how he hooks that audience for 2 hours. Vince Russo is not writing those notes. I'm not telling JR what to say. That is a professional announcer knowing the craft of keeping an audience over 2 hours. He was the star of this show far and away, and that had nothing to do with Vince Russo.
What was different about the creative process right at this time period as opposed to when Ed came in?
It was basically me on my own presenting to Vince. So I didn't really know, bro, if it was. Yeah, I thought it was good. But I really it would have been nice to have somebody else involved in the process where maybe I was missing something. Maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it was. Maybe it was really bad, bro. But, before Ed, I was strictly going on my instinct and my instinct alone. That's why as soon as I was introduced to Ed and I immediately saw, we were of the same cloth, we were on the same page, I welcomed with open arms, somebody to be able to work with and have it be a team effort. So that was really the difference.
All right. Well, that wraps up our first episode, Vince.
I'm winded, bro. I got to go take a nap now, bro, for crying out loud. Listen, this was your idea. This was your concept. You did a lot of work with this, bro. You picked this apart beautifully from your perspective. The Vince promo, writing my promo. I thank you so much, Jeff, for bringing this show to the table. It was exhausting, but a lot of fun for me. I'm not going to lie to you, but I am absolutely exhausted. I am absolutely spent.